Good afternoon, good evening, hello. It is Thursday afternoon in sunny Melbourne, another cold day. But this video will be basically I'd call it a reconstruction of a driver's failed attempt at getting around the track without hitting big boards. Big break, lots of stuff busted. I'll take it apart and change the chassis, do all that really quick as just something to do, basically, so your viewing pleasure. But I'll set it up correctly for him to drive a little bit later. This is going to be a real quick strip down and replace chassis and top deck and just make sure everything's straight. So without further ado, me boring you with my speeches, I'll just quickly flip it around and get it going. So bear with me for a second. Alrighty, let the fun begin. Okay, I won't talk a lot, I'll just start stripping the whole thing down because you can see it's pretty much of a mess. So, introduction on how not to become a cropper when driving is don't hit things too hard. This gentleman's a newbie, learning how to drive, got a little bit distracted and held the trigger basically full noise into a gutter, and that's what happens when you hit gutters. Gutters don't like cars and cars don't like gutters. It's pretty much the same that goes around for a lot of stuff these days. I just strip this stuff down completely in one quick foul movement and then basically worry about how to finesse it a little bit later once I've changed the broken parts, which is the chassis, bits and pieces like that. I will have to take this spare controller off, but I'll do that in a minute. I'll first take the main screws, bits and pieces out of the car that I can actually undo. Now, to give you an idea, use a decent wrench, please. Every screw on the car, you can strip the heads quite easily if you're not careful, and it's not good because then you've got to try and take it out by having to you will have to, as they say, drill the heads of the screws out to take them out. Not the best scenario, so try and avoid running a shitty tool. Use a decent tool, any brand with a hardened steel, basically drill blank is the best way to go. They seem to be the best way regardless of what it may be. There you go. Take the servo, sorry, done. That's the chassis that's busted out. Okay, now I'll take this bulkhead out. Oops, that's quick and easy. You can see me. It's amazing how he's broken this right in the middle where the steering sits. It's an absolutely astounding effort. I did ask him, bloody hell, how hard did you hit? He said not too hard. I don't know. I bigger to differ than that one, because he's taken off the he's taken off the bumper bar, he's taken off the front bulkhead literally right across the middle of the chassis, so he's done a good job. Gotta give him that. Kudos for big effort. Not what you want to see from a brand new car that's only had about maybe, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, something like that. Not a good thing, but hey, we move forward. We fix, we keep going with what we've got. So it's not that much of a deal, really. Okay, what I might do is push that in. Okay, chassis. Now this is a spare second-hand chassis that I've got sitting around, so it doesn't cost him a packet on a brand new one. This is out of one of my cars that I stripped down and worked on other projects with, so you should be happy with that, I think. Put one there. Do the suspension in a minute. First I'll get the bulkheads in. Everyone's meticulous in what they do. Realistically, you choose how you want to approach a break like this. If you feel like that you've got to give it more effort, by all means give it more effort. but there is no big requirements that you have to be Mr. Pedantic. As long as you haven't broken major parts of it, everything else will fall into place, such as your steering, your bulkheads, stuff like that. Your suspension should just drop straight in. Why is that one not going in? Just a bit out, that's right. That's why, because it's not flat. There you go. Ren, put it in when it's straight, and it likes to screw in straight. As you can see with this, no torquing, wrenching or anything like that. I do basically tweak, just the power of your fingers to torque up the screws where you think they are equally on the chassis. You can go ballistic and, how would you call it, apply your own strength and trying to tighten these things up. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, what you got to do is make sure that everything fits in nice. Oh, he's broken that. Oh, he's broken an arm. So there will be an arm change. Holy cow, I just noticed that. Yep, he smashed an arm. Alright, don't matter, I'll do that later. I'll get the main parts in first, worry about the main bits and pieces, and then worry about the arm a little bit later. Why is that not going into there? It's not a good sign when the screw doesn't want to go back into a particular point. I wonder why. There you go, that's better. Tweak that arm up. Okay. Do the motor mount in a minute. But I do have to do the top deck as well, because that's actually shattered as well. Alright. Okay, getting to the critical swap. That's pretty good. Give it a good clean with WD-40 and a compressor after I throw all this together. That's not good. Why is that? He hasn't looked after it. Man, oh man. People got to look after this stuff. Spent a lot of money on this. He's bought two. One for himself, one for his nephew. It would be good if he actually looks after it. To actually give him the enjoyment that he does. How does he get out of it? He enjoys driving it. He's just got to be a little bit more attentive and looking after it, that's all. It is a bit dirty. I think he's been driving it on a car park somewhere, which is not the best thing to do, because I think that's where the gutter was that he hit at full noise. He's getting used to the speed of the car, even though he's a rookie, and he was getting used to it. But I think even though it's 21 dialed down, it was still quick, and I think he just got a little bit, how would you call it, not taken aback at how quick it was, even though it was only 21.5, and just smacked it straight into a gutter at a car park, because he's done a good job. He's done a really good job. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, that's pretty good. That arm's going to be changed. That's easy. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oops, servo, I'll put that on. Yeah, I won't worry about that too much. Fan's not on there. I can always double-sided tape that down later. So we'll put that belt back on. Yep, and we'll do the servo. I'll pull it apart and give it a good clean after I've got this deck on. Ooh, servo survived. Excellent. I like to hear that. No damage to the servo. That's good. That's good. That's good. With the servo being 3 screws, you do the front, the back, then the middle. That way you're pretty much guaranteed that you've got it in the correct order on tightening on it, so it doesn't sit left or right, forward or backwards, anything like that. Let's have a look. Yep. Okay, now take these out because he's done the top deck. Puts those 3 there. I'm missing screws. What have I done? Gotta fix that one. Must fix that one. Screws unscrewed. Oh yeah, middle. That. Right, no, I'll do that in a minute. First I'll take the top deck off. Okay. Top deck. Move that out of the way for the moment. Take the screw out for that. Take the screw out for that. It's busted, that's busted. I got this chassis going really well for him. It handled brilliantly on a dusty track down at Cirque where I run. Really happy with it, and he was just getting used to driving it. Always sort of got anxious and basically didn't take out anything, but nearly took out himself about a dozen times by not realising that the car's coming up to the corner, which he has to actually be wary of. And I think it's just a case of learning. So I don't sort of anticipate he's going to be too good at the start until he gets himself all organised on how well the car handles, how he's got to basically become. What am I going to do there? Yep, no, I'll get another one. I've got a whole box of these top decks, skinny and fat ones and so forth. Been playing around with, so lots of spares floating around. Good for him. That way he's not going to be wanting me trying to figure out if I'm going to get another part for him or otherwise. What have I got? I've got those 3 there. That one there. See if I can find one that's equal to what he's got. That's not that one. Do you hear that? It's a box of bits. Ah, that's what I want. So we're going to learn to play around with. Right, so it looks like I might be using one of my top decks on his car. Lots of bits. Let's see which one would be the better one. Yeah, I'll be using one of mine. Still fit everything in nicely. That one there. Can't put that one there at all. So I can fit this one out instead. Nope, that won't fit. I might actually have to get a split version because none of these allow me to place the no, looks like I'm going to have to use a split version. Won't be too long. Give me 2 seconds. I'm still here. I'm still here. Looking. That's what I want. Thank you very much. Okay. Just fitting on the front for him, and he's going to have a spare one to play around with later, is that one, which is a 2mm split top deck original fitment. So it allows the aerial to go through the middle. So that'll help him a lot in playing around with the car. And that's going to go there with the aerial in the middle. And the steering, bingo. What do we got here? A little bit long, so what we're going to do, we find a lot of these, depending on chassis, what you've been doing with them and all that type of jazz, sometimes you have to relieve a little bit of the length, because they're cut off site, not on site. So we take a sanding block, take about a millimetre, not even half a mil or even less, relief from the front and rear, so they're literally not touching the actual bulkheads or the center, basically not touching there and not touching there, so it allows a little bit of movement. I'll put that in. Beautiful. See how far we are on this. Let's have a look. Beautiful. Nice and free. That's what I want to see. Now I put screws back in, and I'll do the rest of it tomorrow, which is, the rest of it tomorrow will be the cleaning of the electrics. So I'll do it in 2 parts, so I don't make this too long and boring. I just nip those up. I won't do all completely until I actually get the top steering on. And do that one. And there's the steering. That should be that chassis replaced. Not what you want to find yourself doing, by all means, but something that's got to be done if you have an accident like this one. Tighten, 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 tighten. Done. Chassis and top deck replaced. Tomorrow I'll run through with doing the arm and how to take those little cups out, because they can be a pain in the arse. I'll give the car a good clean before I re-cement all the electrics in, and stick it down the servo as well, obviously, and do the aerial as well. But there's the rest of it. He tried to actually repair it with a piece of aluminium. Not the best way to go, but there you go. That's a quick replace of a damaged chassis. All the rest of the bits and pieces, like the battery locks and that type of stuff, will be done tomorrow, and I'll run that build through on a video separate to that, and a clean and how to do the top arms, and then give him a buzz and tell him that he can pick up his car. Well, there you go, guys. That's a quick basically rebuild of a shattered car. All the boltable parts are in. I do have to do that arm, because that arm is busted at the front. I can't put a sway bar link onto it. I do have to stick down the servos, sorry, the speed controller and the receiver, but I will give the car a good clean, because it is pretty filthy. So I'll give it a buzz over with the blower and some Worth degreaser, just brake cleaner, just to take away the dust on it, and run that as a separate video tomorrow. Thanks very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed that. Take care. Good night. Have a good evening. Say hi to your family, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Ciao, guys.